Camera's rolling.
Baby, I'm too young to know any better, but I guess I'm just too old to care. I'm waiting on the morning light to clear the air. Now the sky is on with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you created. The one that you hated. Now the sky is on with regret, letting go that you pay flags. All the silence that keep me coming back. I'm the one that you hated. You know, the one you didn't want to believe. The one that you hated. Take a look at it now. I'm the one that you.
All right, welcome back to Dad Talk Today. Welcome back again. Having technical difficulties already this morning. We went live, and for some reason, YouTube got cut off the second we did it. It happens. But we're back. We're in the house of Dad Talk. It's Taco Tuesday. I hope you're going to have your tacos tonight. All right, now I'm getting hungry. Really quick, guys, before we jump into today's show, down there at the bottom, many ways you can support this podcast. Dad Talk Today, no spaces, Cash App, Venmo, Patreon. There is subscriptions and memberships over on YouTube. Got the same thing on Facebook. But I want to run through a new platform that I've been doing. I've been having a lot of fun with it. And I want to go through some of the history of Dad Talk. A lot of people don't know this actually started off as a blog. It took me several months to learn how to do the podcast. And in the meantime, I was putting out articles on different dads and different situations that was going on because I like writing. I like writing. Now I rarely have the patience for it, but I've refound my love for it. But I've been telling you about this platform that I'm wanting to grow. And one reason is, again, some of the stuff I've been covering over the past week, social media has just become a cesspool. I still want to be able to use it to let you guys know what's going on, but I hope you will follow me over here. I'm also getting out a little bit of my creativity in other areas. Let me pull this up and show you just, a few of the articles that we got going on. Let me pull myself down at the bottom. This is our wall. This morning I did something on Elvis Presley. I'm an Elvis Presley nut. Everything else is basically men's rights, father's rights. Did something on the topic that we're going to be talking about today. Why are men going their own way? And guys, if you are a man that's went their own way, do me a favor. Tell me, why did you go your own way? There is also another one that's really hard for me to talk about. I got a little experience in this area. And I want to start promoting men to talk about it because when you see the statistics, it actually blow your mind. Male sexual abuse is worse than you might think. The amount of men, especially when they were boys, that went through sexual abuse. It's not something we encourage men to talk about, but it is definitely something a lot of men are suffering from. Also, men suffering from depression. There's a stigma around mental health. A lot of these guys have no idea just how many other guys are suffering from depression, and we don't talk to each other about it. I really want to get this through. If you got to see last night, I got to talk to Cash Jackson, and he was talking to me about going through the major depressive disorder that he has been facing. For those of you that didn't follow him, he was one of the original voices here before I was even here. And there at the end, he was going through the family law stuff. And I tell you what, man, it broke him. It really did. I hate to see that was going on. And I said, we owe it to our guys to start making sure we break the stigma around this and encourage our men to speak up from depression. You do not have to do this alone. Did another one on the cost to be a father. Look, dude, right now I have more people requesting to be on the show and I can't get to everybody. They want to tell their story. I have started a thread right here. Tell us your story. Many people caught it yesterday. They've already started. If you get in here, tell us your story down there at the bottom. I will be watching that closely. Also, this Thursday, for the ones that have did the yearly subscribers, let me explain that really quick. If you sign up to be a yearly subscriber, I got several different things that are going to happen for you. I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be any of that. However, I see now more than ever, there is an importance for men to get together and have a safe space to talk amongst each other, especially around people that understand what they are going through. I'm going to start this thing up. It's going to be once a month. It's going to be like a Zoom chat online. I will make sure everybody's going to have to put something in there. Nothing that we say is going to make it outside of that, where we can just come together and speak and feel comfortable speaking with each other. And that's going to be for our yearly subscribers. I'm also making up some t-shirts to get out to some of you guys. So please make sure to get in here. Also, how Johnny Depp and Amber Heard showed the issues with false allegations towards men. Lots of other stuff. A little article on Dr. Warren Farrell. I'm right now in the middle. I have several different media projects going on, guys, several. And unfortunately, because of the production value of that, I'm going to have to get some assistance from the community that I'm making it for. So for the yearly subscribers, monthly subscribers as well, you'll have access to all that content when it comes out. So one of the ways that I can get it away from what we currently see here, I think it's commonly said, hurt people hurt other people. But in order to get this message out where it needs to go, we also need to be reaching out to people that have no idea what's going on here and educate. MGTOW. You know, it played on my mind a lot last night when I finally went pretty thoroughly through my story, read this note, and I think anybody that went through that note, I didn't skip over it, didn't change it. You got to hear it. Hopefully that gives you a little insight on just how much skin I have in this game. It was very hard to do. But one of the questions I got yesterday is, Eric, what would you have told yourself back then if you knew then what you know now? How could you have avoided that? And it was one of those questions that I got kind of put on the spot. And, I think I did pretty good answering it. But the more I got to looking at it, and I was like, MGTOW, I should have went my own way. That would have been the one way that I could have avoided that. Now, do I think it's got to be a permanent solution? No, for some people, it might be a permanent solution. And if it's their permanent solution, I'm not going to judge them one bit whatsoever. Because if they go their own way, they probably wouldn't go through that crap. Am I going to judge somebody for doing that? No. I actually think it's smart for a lot of these guys. They want to invest in themselves. They're saying their happiness doesn't depend on anybody else. And they don't trust relationships. They don't trust these government contracts with marriage. They don't trust having kids because they know their kids get dangled in front of their face. This is a response to the way that society has treated men and fathers. That's what MGTOW is. Why are men going their own way? Because you made them, damn it. You really did. It's not that they don't want a lot of these things. It's that anytime they go after what society tells them to go after, you hear the stories like I'm telling here on the podcast. They did it for a reason, right? But again, I want to hear for you guys that have went your own way. Why did you do it? What could I have done different? Probably could have went my own way. That's it, man. Do me a favor. If you're watching this right now, please like, share, subscribe, ding the bell so you get the notifications when we go live. And like I said, man, I got over there on that Substack, there is free subscriptions where right now all of the content that's coming in is free, except for that monthly meeting. If you would like to join that, get in there now. And I'll be sending out the link come this Thursday. I'm looking forward to being able to sit there amongst the guys. Last week when I got invited to do that it was just a little meetup with some of the veterans. I saw how excited they were to be amongst their peers, people that understood what that battlefield was like, that understood the new battlefield they had when they got out of the service and then had to relearn what life was like. And it took knowing that other people had walked in those same footsteps in order for them to be able to relate. And as I listened to that, it was a loss of identity that a lot of these guys had faced. This is all I've known for 15 or 20 years. I come back. Now I can't even get a job as a janitor or anything. And it's like everything I was running these missions. I was this important person. Now I don't have it anymore. Let me tell you something, guys. It is the same thing here for these guys that are going through these situations with divorce and the stigma that is surrounding men in society. Imagine being that husband and that father that has that routine. He goes to work, he comes home, he does the chores around the house, fixes it up, sits down at the table, watches the movie, and then he has this routine, and that is his identity. I am a husband, I am a father, I am a family man. Oh boy. But you didn't know while you were at work, working really hard, that Jody was slipping in through the back door. The person that you was laying down next to, thinking that they was loyal to you and loving you, was actually loving a lot of people. And then by the time you find out, you're about to lose it all. That routine goes away. I'm no longer a husband. I'm still a father, but I'm not a full-time father. I'm having to go in these courts. I'm having to spend my money from that job that's making me miserable in order to try to get some time with my kids. And no matter how much I try, I get the every other weekend, once a month, or I don't get any time at all. My house that I once was in with that family is now empty. I'm living in a little apartment that I can barely afford, or maybe I have to go back and live with my parents. My identity was completely stripped away from me. Every one of these topics, whether it is, like I said, with the veterans, divorce, depression, they really do go hand in hand. Substance abuse. That's how a lot of people are introduced to substance abuse. When you got those type of problems, and because we don't have the support groups like I'm talking about wanting to make, guys feel isolated. They feel like there's nothing that they can do, and they are left to their own devices and prisoners in their own mind. That could be a reason why men go their own way. I got to tell you something. I learned a lot over the past several years. There is a difference in like the men's rights movement and the father's rights world, even though they definitely coalesce. I got invited to this conference to speak at like one of the men's rights conferences. And I got up and told my story thinking that I'm talking to a bunch of divorced guys. They're going to understand what I'm talking about. Afterwards, I had a bunch of these gentlemen come up to me. It's like, oh man, dude, thank you for being so open and honest about what you're going through. I haven't got married yet. I've wanted to. I want to get in a relationship, but I'm afraid right now. I'm just building on myself, getting my banking account and everything else ready. I might take that step one day, but right now, dude, like I'm just going my own way. And it was the first time I'd seen guys that had the prevention rather than the ones that are coming here saying this is what happened to me. There's a lot of people that are taking that preventative step. And for you, I would say, awesome. Awesome. And we need to be getting that prevention out there. We really do, man. I still believe in the nuclear family. But as the way the government and feminism has made it right now, that's why you have MGTOW. Absolutely. Let me get in here. Good morning, Tom, Buddy, Fitzpatrick, Derek, Ricardo, Michael, Todd. You had a breakfast burrito. Ricardo, Hawaiian jalapeno pizza. I hope it was just jalapenos and you don't have pineapple on that thing, man. Julie, what's going on? Michael, have I had the tacos from Sonic? Nah, dude, like I said, I'm out in the boondocks. My nearest Sonic is like 35 minutes away. Like an hour round trip just to go to it, but I do like going there. Mr. Polar Bear, good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. Polar Bear. Unfortunately, you won't be hearing from Mr. Polar Bear today as he's in the hospital. Hey, guys, I wish you well. I think it's very common to see people on here with aliases, and it's because men that need a lot of this information sometimes have to hide. Because if you do go public on it, or they see it, everything you say and or do will be used against you. That's the difference in like men going their own way and like the feminist movement. The feminist movement, one gets government funding. They've been out for a very long time. They're very vocal. They're everywhere. Whereas MGTOW, not government funded. They stay quiet, but they do organize and they're very strong. If you haven't looked into some of that, please do. Father's Resistance, what's going on? Amanda, General Miller. Dwayne, how do I know this is the Real Dad Talk Today Substack? It has a huge reference to Elvis. Oh, yeah, dude. Elvis Presley. I told you, we got to talk a little bit about music yesterday. I want to get a little bit more into that. I'm going to start adding in some different stuff. And like I said, because I think it's needed, talking about family law day and night can do a number on you. And I got a lot of other things. I'm not just Eric Carroll from Dad Talk Today. I'm Eric Carroll, the husband, the father, the friend, and music aficionado. And Elvis is just one of my guilty pleasures, dude. And I hated it growing up. I hated it. Father X, hey, man, thank you. REH, good morning, guys. What's going on? Dark Blade, he said, MGTOW taught it's okay to be single. Honestly, it's brought me peace of mind. I could get that. And that's why, like I said, I wanted to go back through there. As much as, like I said, I believe in the nuclear family and some of the stuff that, I believe that's the way it's supposed to be. But because the societal expectations, we got to have a relationship, we got to do this, I went and jumped into another relationship thinking that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm going to tell you, I'd have been much, much happier alone. I didn't think I would, because that's not what happiness is supposed to be, right? You're supposed to have the home and the family and everything. There is absolutely nothing wrong with loving yourself, man. And if you're not ready to take that step, and you want to make sure you're protected, damn it, do it. I'm glad to hear that, Dark Blade. I really am. Martin Henry, right on the money with the way things are going with me as well. Awesome, man. Need an emotional support burrito. I have never heard of that, but I guess all food is kind of emotional supports for me. Johnny Rotten, we got anarchy in the UK. He's pretty vacant this morning. Good morning. Thank you. Your words always give me hope. Thanks, brother. Martin, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you for speaking up and showing up for me. I do. I'm sad they have to hide identity. Man, dude, I'm telling you, I have had athletes, musicians, actors, several different things on here, not in the comments, but it shows you the lack of resources towards men. People who probably have any amount of money that's needed to go and get those resources, but they'll show up here and I'll have the conversations, and I wish they wouldn't hide. But what does that say? That men feel like they are so discriminated against, or that it'll be taken wrong, that they have to hide. I go back to my situation again, being hit. If that would have been the other way around, would I have to be going and getting an attorney? Would I have to be going and spending this money that I don't have in order to get some type of justice? No. If it was the other way around and I hit somebody, my ass would be under the jail. Men are afraid to report domestic violence. Imagine being told that domestic violence is a crime. It is to be prosecuted. But if I am a man and somebody hits me, if I call the cops, I'm going to jail. Or how easy is it if I get hit, I call the cops, and then they get there, and then, oh, no, he's the one that did it to me. That's why men are going their own way. I mean, absolutely. I hope I can say this right. J. Andre Lashabushagna. No, I just completely murdered. Labushagna. Labishagna. That one's stumping me, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. What nationality is that name? Let me know it. Go into court today. Wish me luck, everybody. Can I wish him luck? Yes, man. General Miller. Before meeting my wife, I almost went my own way. She asked me what I would do with my life. I told her I'd take care of my kids and play my games. My ex-bikes won't cheat on me. Dude, I tell you, after I went through the divorce, then the next relationship, I developed a very close relationship to my PlayStation 4. It was where I felt comfortable. It's where I had a group of guys that didn't judge me, that we got in there, we killed some zombies or whatever we was going to do, and we talked about our problems, we talked about our day. It was a good place for me to vent and feel like, hey, I can be me. I don't have to be anything else. I don't have to build up any walls. This is kind of the BS I'm going on. They share their BS with me, and we were there for each other, dude. And how close was I to some of those gamers? Like, they all bought Christmas gifts for each other, like PlayStation cards, so we could stay on there and play with each other. Yeah, dude, I think a lot of people end up finding other things. I think video games is good. It's better than going to substance abuse or some of those other things. But starting again, one, after going through family court or being cheated on, being hit, or some of these other things, people just don't want to do it anymore. And it gives you a very bad outlook on life. I was a guy, was ready. I did go my own way there for a second. It took me going through those 2 relationships before I said I was going to go my own way. I had several people trying to get in relationships with me and like, nope, not doing it. But then again, I also saw myself doing something I'll be open and honest about was toxic. I would date, and when I would get their attention and understand they're falling in love with me, bye. I'm not getting in. Nope. I was open. I was honest. That's not what it's going to be. But still, I was going and getting in relationships knowing that I had no plans on commitment. And I ended up having to question myself, like, man, you can't do that. I met my wife on accident. I really did. And the more I started to love her, the more I wanted to get away from her because I still wanted to go my own way. I wasn't ready. But the more like I stayed in there, I started trusting again. Man, I made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. You want to talk about somebody that knew how to choose wrong? It was this guy. And it was crazy because there was a part of me that was felt comfortable, that felt at home with some of the conflict that I was going through. Until the end, some of that conflict, no. Especially accusations, no. I'm not used to that crap. But I realized like there is some reason I can't blame it all on the other people because I am choosing the wrong people and I am rushing into relationships and doing things before I even take care of myself or care about me. Guys, if I could give you any tip of advice, especially if you've gotten in one of these, toxic relationships, take a second to just take care of yourself, man. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you got every other week with your kids, that means you've got like 9 or 10 days with just yourself. Take your own self on dates, man. Go and work out, find some hobbies, play some games, do whatever it is. Don't think what ends up getting men in trouble is they might not want the relationship, but they want the benefits. If you understand what I'm saying, the type of benefits that happen for me when I play Al Green. Remember what I was talking about yesterday? Yeah. Love and happiness. Anyway, sex. Men will be driven by sex. And sometimes that is what gets us in trouble. They might even meet somebody saying, I don't want anything special. I just want to get sex. I'll take you out to dinner. I'll even buy you dessert at Dairy Queen. Yeah, here's you a little ice cream cone or hot fudge sundae. But happy ending, man. Just like if you go to an Asian massage parlor, you expect something afterwards. I'm just kidding. I actually had that happen one time. I went and got an Asian massage. No lie, dude. And at the end, lady goes, let me know once finished. I was sitting there. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Don't think like that. And don't visit Asian massage parlors. I'm just telling you. It was one of my stories. Swear to God. It happened. Johnny Depp call you, Eric? No, I'd love to hear from Johnny. I really would. He could have been the face of the MGTOW movement. He really could have. There's disappointment there. Maybe it'll happen one day. We will see. Miss Sarah Bell, thank you for everything you do. You've answered so many questions for my husband and me. We were alone in our struggle until we found you. You've given us courage to reach out, to speak with others. Dude. If nothing else was to happen here, Sarah, reading that is why I do it. Talking about my situations, as bad as it makes me feel sometimes, because it's scary to say, okay, let me open the book, show you what goes on behind there, because people will judge you for everything. I'm an open book. If you want to know, ask me. Even after like telling my story yesterday, I came back on. Ask me. If you ask me, I'll let you know. Because I want to be able to be an open book, because I know there's parts of my story, whether it's the good, bad, or the ugly, that is somebody is going to relate to. Every one of us are human. There's a lot of these guys out there. Some of us, a lot of us, are very immature until we have kids. And people will base us off of who that was, and they won't talk about the guy now. And because we have this thing called life and we've made mistakes, a lot of these guys that think, oh man, all my past is going to be used against me in these things. And you know what? It works, especially the smear campaigns when it's used on social media, and it makes guys afraid to speak. Don't do that. Don't do that. By no means. Thanks. Oh, he said French, but originally from South Africa. Giandre, I don't know if you know this. La Boujna. Did I say it better that time? This is gonna play around in my head all day long. La Boujna. And I got to get the accent down with it too. South Africa, man. I know a little bit about all different places from what I hear. I think South Africa is one of those, like, fathers. I don't think it's even a chance or an opportunity for a dad to get custody over there. I just think that's straight across the board a mother part of the world. It's what I've been told. I'm not basing that upon research. I'm basing it upon conversations. Maybe you can give me a little insight towards that. And I tell you, man, call me crazy. I really have a heart and desire to go to some of these other places and turn the cameras on and say, look at what these people are going through, and connect men, fathers, whether you're in a committed relationship now, you've been the one that's went through the divorce, or you're one that's went their own way. I'd really like to connect each other and say, look at what we are going through, and can we be there for each other? I don't know if that's what they call it, but I was talking to my buddy in Ghana the other day. I think that's Northern Africa, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong. And he was talking about how the Western entertainment has caught on over there, and it's created a gold digger culture, very similar to the United States. They're playing off the feminism of the United States, and the men are going their own way. They're saying, do not get married. There's no benefits from it. And these women over here, no, you can't trust them. I think there is a pretty big MGTOW movement going on over there, and I would be very interested in seeing it. Mr. Ward said, although I'm married, I am MGTOW, but not the monk method. I take the principles that it teaches. Burped up coffee. Happiness, not dependent on females. Dude, it's the way to do it, man. That is the way to do it. Mr. Ramirez, what's going on, man? I like that mask. Check that thing out. He said, me too, Eric. Shit happens. It does. It's happened several times this morning with me. That tends to happen with coffee, but I think he's talking about some of the bad decisions that we make. I'd like to, there are some really strict MGTOW guys out there, by the book. This is how it's got to be done. This is the rules. And for those of us that's done some of that, they kind of look down on us. Man, look, I'm with you. Believe me, I'm with you. Yes, I am married. Yes, I am a stepdad. But I don't overstep. I'm not a Mighty Mouse or anything, and it actually works out really well for me on that side. We all get along. The drama came from me and my decisions in the past. Okay, that's where that plays in. I was full of drama, right? Manda, my husband was also on the path of MGTOW, and even I didn't really want to get into anything serious. Life just put us together, though. My husband even confessed that he knew he could have been better to me in the beginning because of all those walls he wasn't sure he wanted to let down. Manda, I can definitely relate to that one. My wife put up with more crap from me than just about any woman would. I was such a broken man. I couldn't trust anymore. I thought everybody was out to get me. I wasn't even sure why I was doing the dating because I wasn't wanting to get in a serious relationship. And as time went by and she was doing everything right and being so good to me, it made me try to grow further away because I was that scared of a committed relationship. I really, really was, man. And I think these guys do build up walls, and they build up walls for a reason. People say that men are afraid to express their emotions. Couldn't be anything further from the truth. I guarantee you, when I do this monthly meetup, or when you hear the guys that are down here in the comments, they are expressing their emotions to you every single day. What they are afraid of is expressing those emotions to somebody that then turns it around and uses it as a weapon. Case in hand, yesterday, there was many times like I confided in my partner when I would be with them, only to have those details just thrown back in my face later on in arguments and stuff. What happens when that goes on with men, or when they go to try to fight and everything's used against them? They just completely shut down. Those men don't build walls for no reason. They build walls for self-preservation. And there might have been some people that missed out on good opportunities because of those walls, but I will not judge them. I won't. I understand why they do it. And those walls, once you put them up, man, can be very, very hard to break down. I tell you, the one who has the easiest walls most of the time is the guy that goes through a really bad divorce. And then every conversation you talk to him, I'm never getting married again. I'm not doing that. I'm staying single the rest of my life, man. I won't do that. 6 months later, I found the one. I found her. She's good to me. I wasn't going to do it again, but I did it. Year later, divorced again. I'm not doing it again. That was my last time. I've seen it. I sound like Cousin Eddie, didn't I? She don't have a tongue, Clark. Anyway, it is. I'm not picking on those guys. I understand it. And they go and try. I'm saying, like, when you adopt these ideals, you got to be serious with them. You don't just say, this is what I'm going to do, until you feel like, I got this one little opportunity to go listen to Al Green right now, and I'm going to go after it. Be careful. Play with fire, boys. You get burned. Okay. Mr. Brian Morrison. I lost 2 stepkids I raised for 8 years to instantly lose because of a Spitfire mother. After that, I now have high standards for myself. My happiness comes right after my kids. If you don't bring me joy, you aren't in my life. Boy, I like that, Brian. Does it really need to be put any better than that? If you don't bring me joy, you aren't in my life. It's one of the reasons why I went off social media. All the different trolls that, are there and trying to talk and doesn't, that's my thing, dude. If I see it, I block it and I move on. And that is another way of going your own way. Look, if you don't put into me, I'll put into people. But if you don't put into me, don't expect me to be loyal to you if you're not loyal to me. Look, I went a lot of my life without loyalty. I'm going to tell you, that's torture. I don't put up with that anymore. I don't. So if you don't want to put into me, get out of here. Go. I ain't begging you to stay. I'm not. No, sir. Don't do it, guys. Don't do it. General Miller, trusting is very hard nowadays. Sometimes meeting someone by accident is the best way to go. Yeah, man. Brian, when I don't have my kids, I work 2.5 jobs and hit the gym every day. Man, I know I've been talking a lot about it. But that is a very important thing that I want you guys to do, especially if you're suffering from depression or doing some of this. Part of going your own way, you got to look, dude, you got to start taking care of yourself. Start eating better. Do you know how much trash that we have out there right now? I am a hypocrite on that because I'm a pizza guy and I like junk food just as much as the next guy. At the same time, I have been doing it, lifting weights. Dude, I spent like 3 hours in the gym yesterday alone, and I tell you, it makes a difference up here. It helps you in having self-confidence and being able to put that foot down. One thing that you're going to have to take, while doing that though, and I definitely recommend that supplement, get you a little bit of creatine, get you some protein, but this right here, that right there, that is one of those supplements. You can get it anywhere. And that is going to be one of your most important ingredients, getting that red pill, man. Learning how to grow a set and letting people know I'm not going to be pushed over. I'm going to do what I think is best for me. Don't worry about that being selfish. You live in a very selfish world, guys. A very, very selfish world. It's a me, me, me generation. And if you don't take care of yourself and you don't preserve your life and do the things necessary to protect you from going through a lot of this crap, nobody else is going to. I can promise you that. Nobody else is going to. Oh man, I hate to hear that. Brian Dix, a ton. Trash food is easy and convenient. It is, dude. When oh no, you didn't say it better. Think I'll send you a voicemail so you can hear the right pronunciation. Okay. Like Bujna. Yep. I murdered it again. Dude, I mean, when I was going across the country and doing some of the things I was doing, I didn't have time to sit there and cook a meal or anything like that. Taco Bell or whatever we was passing. I don't have a Jack in the Box at home. So when I was seeing that Jack in the Box, I was killing them tiny tacos, dude. And it was just so easy to go and do that. But you pay the consequences for it. Same thing. Fast food, right? A relationship doesn't need to be fast either. Slow it down, build on it, make sure it's the person that you want to be with before you go and take a major step like that. What does fast food do to your body? It's the same thing that fast relationships do with you. Every one of my relationships was fast. I meet them, I'm in love. I got somebody I'm going to be with. Then we have a baby. And then not long after that, shit. You know what I mean? What did you do? You did it again. You know what I did? I would go and do it again. And then I would go and do it again. So yeah, man, if I look back at it, I should have went my own way. Mr. Tom Buddy Fitzpatrick, Jim has saved me. Therapeutic. Even if you're frustrated, you can turn that negative energy into something positive. I remember, dude, a couple weeks ago, it was back-to-back stories where a child had died, watching the parents relive through this stuff, just crying their eyes out, dude, still waiting on justice. And it was just one of those days. It's like, dude, I couldn't get out of my head. It was just one of the most frustrating things. And I'm one of those people, I don't know, like, for anybody that suffers through depression, I have depression and anxiety. I go through very extreme panic attacks. I'm not proud of them. When we were doing the shows not long ago on domestic violence and how it happens to men, I have my own story. You know it now. And trying to talk on these subjects, having my own experience, being a victim of domestic violence, not only in physical, but mental, okay, it triggered me, unlike anything I had ever seen. I don't get triggered on here very easily. And that night, dude, I felt like somebody was standing on my chest. I couldn't breathe. I didn't want my wife to see me that way, but she sat there through all of them and was there for me. It was amazing. And for anybody that's never experienced a panic attack, no matter if you know it's a panic attack or not, you think you're having a heart attack. You think you're dying. It's a trick of the mind. You're dying, you're dying, you're dying. I can't breathe. I'm about to have a heart attack. I'm about to have a heart attack. And you just sit there and keep grasping for air. And it's like this thing that you can't get out of. So depression with anxiety, it can be a pain in the ass. And I had gotten away from the panic attacks for years. Around 2011 to 2013, I was having them on a daily basis. It was debilitating. And it went away. I don't know how, because I'm not going to tell you I was a gym nut back then or anything, or started eating any better, because that wouldn't be true. But they went away. But when we got on the conversation of domestic violence, it triggered me, man. And I thought I was going to be better that night. I got on the next day, had more voicemails about it, and then it triggered a whole week of just nonstop panic attacks, especially when I would go to sleep at night. And that was when I started getting in the gym, eating right and stuff like that. And guys, I can tell you something. I haven't had any since. I haven't, even with a lot of the stress that I've been under. But going back to that one particular day, sitting there frustrated, having to go through this, and I was just like, man, I couldn't get out of my head no matter how much I told myself to get on something else, go somewhere else, work on something else. Couldn't get out, and I was just like, man, I got to go to the gym. Like, forget about it. Dude, as soon as I started pumping those freeways, I got to pump like Arnold. Felt better than coming. Anybody seen Pumping Iron? I hope so, or that's going to sound very inappropriate. And you know what I'm talking about, right? You get the pump, man. The adrenaline got to flowing. We're men. Get that testosterone going. We're not meant to just sit here and think about how my poor, pitiful life. You know what? Life sucks, man. Embrace that shit. Get out there. Start doing something. Get your mind off of it. You can stay where you're at, or you can make it a point to say, I'm going to go do something about it. And for a lot of you that stay stuck in your head, especially just like sitting at home, isolating or whatever, I'm for the video games. Don't get me wrong, but you better be doing that other part in it too. Getting that testosterone flowing. You know what I mean? Mike Preserve. He said, looking into growing microgreens. I don't trust vitamins anymore. The food industry is as destructive as anti-family court. I agree, man. So it's not like I do this on purpose, but I'm 100% carnivore, brother. No, not 100%. I love bread and stuff like that. But I'm saying I hate vegetables. I always have. Call me picky. Call me whatever you want. I'll eat collard greens and a few other things, but it's just like when I get leaves in my mouth, it's just, what is it? It just feels so foreign to me, man. But you give me a steak, give me some ribs, give me some protein, gonna pump you up. Give me some protein. I love it, man. But making sure you're getting the vitamins, and I'll tell you, dude, TRT. You know, I'm really glad. And that was one thing that really brought me to podcasts. I don't think Joe Rogan gets enough credit. I don't. He has subjects that nobody else does on there, and he knows a little bit of everything. He started talking about TRT. He started talking about like psilocybin and DMT and what that's doing for people with depression, all these other subjects that really was kind of taboo, or you don't talk about that because it's not accepted. And the more he got into TRT and talking about it, and then I got to talking to other friends of mine, even elders of this movement. You know, it wasn't until not long ago, man. I wake up in the morning, it takes me 2 or 3 hours to get going, guys. And this whole thing is filled. It's a shameless plug. Go get it on dadtalktoday.com shop. But no, I'm just saying this whole thing is filled with black coffee. I can drink 2 of those and I'm still trying to wake up, you know, and there was several people. I'm 38 now. Go get your test check. Go get your test check. So after years of being told that's what I needed to do, I did. And it was extremely, extremely low. Extremely, extremely low. And so I am now on replacement therapy. And I don't think it's kicked in all the way yet. But there's just little things right there. That's what makes a man feel like a man. It's what gives us our strength. If you go back, 2 or 3 months ago, even a month ago on the podcast, I started having this thing I've never had before, where I've always been pretty good about spitting out my words and what I was saying, but I get right in the middle of a conversation and damn it, what's that word? My head started getting foggy. My bones were hurting, you know? And I realized, just like a lot of you guys that are sitting there struggling with that family law and other things that you're going through, I wasn't putting into me. Taking a little break, guys, putting into you. There's a benefit of going your own way. You're not sitting there taking care of everybody else and putting everybody else first. Put yourself first, man. Put yourself first. Of course, you got to have the kids there. But there is nothing wrong with you being about you and making sure you are taken care of. Because if you can't take care of yourself, you damn sure can't take care of anybody else. Hold up. Look at this. Lady in here. We said men going their own way. And then here you are in here trying to talk to my guys, telling them to inbox you, telling them to add you, your profile. Man, I swear to God, the spam on these pages is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Tom Buddy Fitzpatrick, I had one last night halfway through your late night podcast. Spent half night in hospital. I suffered a stress-related heart attack over kids last summer. Dude, Tom, I hope you are taking care of yourself. And one thing I've learned, cliche, but it is serious, especially with you guys suffering from anxiety. Learn to breathe. I don't have to think all the time. I don't have to do all the time. It's okay to sit down in this chair. It's okay to take care of myself. As Jack Nicholson would say in that one movie, Goose Fraba. Can you say that after me? Goose Fraba. You don't have to do that. Do it. And another thing, a men's rights guy taught me, and this is going to sound crazy. Can I give you a little tip, guys? When you're in those moments of stress and anxiety, it's going to sound crazy. Get by yourself. Practice on your breathing and raise your eyebrows and hold it with your breathing. Sounds completely nuts, but it relieves stress. You can actually feel it. Like I said, that was an MRA that taught me that, a counselor. How many of you guys have a good men's rights counselor? Now, I'm not talking about the one that you go to talk about the family law stuff and junk like that, that's going to bring everything up into your family court case. Somebody that you can go and talk to on a bi-weekly basis. Maybe you even need it on a weekly basis to get that anxiety lowered. I highly suggest that. Just like when I skip over the gym, I can tell the difference. Over the past several months, I had that men's rights counselor, completely dedicated, and it was the first time somebody understands the work I'm doing here. They follow the work. They know the situations I'm dealing with, so they know how to talk to me. And a lot of times it's just me feeling like I have all this on my chest and I don't get to let it out. And then I just get in there and blah. There was a few times while I was busy, I didn't get to go, and my depression started kicking back in. Dude, with anxiety and depression, guys, especially around situations like we talk about all the time, it is very important to stay on top of it. If you get something and it starts working, don't dare stop. Absolutely, Ricardo. The gym is my therapist. Nathan, shrooms are perfect and work well. Highly recommended. That is a weird one. That is and I don't mean to say weird. Most people wouldn't understand what you just said. And I love hearing this about Rogan. I've been hearing a lot of benefits from these guys that are doing this. I had my experience with it probably it's been about 20 years ago. It was crazy. One of the craziest things I ever experienced. But the one thing I remember happening was just realizing how much more there is to the world that we don't see, right? You become connected with nature. I guess that's why they said the hippies end up becoming tree huggers. I love everything about the earth, right? one of the conversations that's really been piquing my interest is what would happen if a narcissist that can't get out of their own world, all they see is what's going on with them, had psilocybin or something like that, or one of these psychedelic experiences where it opened them up and showed them everything living. I don't know. Probably too soon to have those type of conversations, but I am glad they are being had, because here's the thing, it's natural. And if there's medicines out there that are helping people, our people should have access to that. When we go to doctors and we have opiates and all these other things that are destroying so many people's lives, and then when they can't get the opiates anymore, they turn to the streets thinking they're getting opiates, and they're getting this fentanyl that is killing people all over the country. And yet THC and marijuana is illegal, that people could have been doing, so they're not turning to that. Let me say, I do not smoke marijuana. I used to. It's been probably 14 or 15 years since I had. I don't enjoy it no more, because it actually makes my anxiety worse. I've heard people say it helps their anxiety. It does me worse. I know people it's done a lot of good for, that will keep them off of some of that stuff. Why don't they have access to that medicine? Yes, I know there's people that take it to the extreme, and that's what they just want to do all day long. I'm not talking about that. I know people that do it responsibly, hardworking people, and then that's, it does them well. I just don't understand why we don't have access. We don't have access to groups where we can talk to each other, proper medicines, many different things, guys. And that a lot of that comes from not being able to have the conversations. That's why we're having the conversations now. Tom, we should do a show on broken heart syndrome, also known as stress cardiomyopathy or Takotsubo syndrome. Occurs when a person experiences sudden acute stress that can rapidly weaken the heart muscle. Never heard of that one, man. One thing I am wanting to do, if you're following Jimmy on Sunday, Jimmy is much more than just the guy that comes on here and talks about male masculinity and dating. Dating was one of those things I'm not going to talk about. You see what my dating life was. You see what my dating life did to me. And so for those of you guys that aren't in the family law battle, or you're just watching this so you know not what to do, I would recommend make sure you listen to Jimmy, because if prevention's better than the cure, and if you can listen to some of the stuff Jimmy's telling you, then you don't have to come to me. By the time you come here and we're talking about the things we're talking about, you're screwed. Okay? You've been screwed. We're going to be talking about other subjects coming up too, but I'm just saying, but Jimmy is actually a fitness coach, man. He knows this stuff in and out. He's actually had some pretty high profile clients, and I've seen what he's done with them, but I want to get something going on health and fitness, to talk about some of the alternatives, like we was just talking about on the show a second ago, and depression. All these things that really help with men. I think those are important, and it's easy because you're going through this to pigeonhole yourself. I really did. I saw a need for people talking about the family law and the parental alienation. So I kind of dedicated myself to that, and I always will, especially until we get something going on. But that goes hand in hand with it. If you're completely out of shape and you're in depression and not eating right, not taking care of yourself, got these syndromes or something, let me tell you, it's going to make your case that much worse. Then going to the courts, not feeling well, not looking well, with that mindset. If you take care of yourself, you go in there sharp, you go in there confident, not letting people push you over, it'll be good. Many of you, I'm getting off topic. Many of you have probably never went your own way. Like I said, as I believe in the nuclear family, I realized early on, if I had adopted MGTOW, I probably would have avoided a lot of heartache. Yeah, cowboy. Said, come in, glanced up and saw Jim as my therapy. LFG. Let's go. You see how I did that, right? XL, what's going on, man? I am working on something now. I don't want to come out on it premature because I'm not doing it for everybody else anyway. But I did make a video before I started this journey till now. I was looking the other day and I wasn't losing weight. So I was like, dude, don't listen to the scale, guys. If you do start going to the gym, let me tell you something. Do not listen to the scale. It will trick you. If you're working hard and you're dieting and you think, oh man, I'm not losing weight, that's what makes a lot of people give up. And so I haven't had much weight loss in the past couple of weeks, but I was looking in the mirror the other day and was like, doggone, it's tightening. My boobies got smaller. They did. My arms got a little bit tighter. Don't do that. If you feel better, you'll live better, man. We're going to start encouraging. I would love to, would you guys be willing to do like a 90-day challenge with me on here? Now, I am not a doctor. This isn't any of that. But for those of you that wanted to participate, you take the responsibility for your own actions. But I would love for us as a community, a whole community, to not only get in here in these groups and start encouraging each other with conversations and solutions and stuff that we can do, but what if we did a challenge together to eat better, to get into the gym? Maybe some of you guys need to adopt that going their own way, and we share the results. 90-day challenge, working out, eating right. What do you say, Cowboy Crypto? He was asking me. Would you guys be up for it? Some of you might already be built. And you know what? That just sucks because you'll be like, I don't need to do it. I do it every day. Well, go for you. I'm actually proud for you. I was the guy that didn't. But for those of you that ain't, let's do it. Let's do it. Be like, pumping iron, better than Tommy. The pump is exciting. Let's do it. Father X, you want to do it? 90-day challenge. All right. I think what we need to do, I'm going to holler at Jimmy, because Jimmy would be the guy to do this much more than me. I'm going to holler at Jimmy and see if he wants to help put us something there. Cowboy, already MGTOW here. LOL. I'm down for the 90-day challenge. I backed off for a few months during the holiday, but I need to get back to it. That's what I'm talking about. Tom said, I pick things up and put them down. Can I give you my honesty, Tom? Me too. I ain't talking about the Me Too movement. I'm saying as a person, myself, I've done that too. I shouldn't have said me too. I'm very bad about doing that, especially like I said, the travel and stuff. Sometimes the only thing I had was junk food. And if I didn't eat, I was going to get a headache and I felt like crap. And I'd go 16 or 18 hours without eating anything. And then it only takes me one time, just like an addict, go back and smoke that crack rock one time. They're going to be back on street corner doing it again. You give me that cheeseburger, you give me that piece of pizza, I'm going to be jamming it down my mouth. But in those times, I really get sucked into it. But that's a part of life, man. Sometimes we fall down, but we get back up again. You're never going to keep me down. We're going to piss the night away, and I'm not doing Chumbawamba either. Sometimes we fall down, but we get back up. And that's why I think it would be good if we as a community did it together, share our results, keep each other accountable. Maybe I can make a thread on Substack on this day. What was your weight? Okay. And we'll look at the 90-day challenge. Every day you check in and say, this is my results. Or when you can, this is my results. If somebody's feeling weak, man, I don't think I can continue anymore. I'm feeling sore. Man, I had a cheat meal. I shouldn't have done it. It derailed me or whatever. Get down in their comments and let's do it together and hold each other accountable. That might seem like a big task, but imagine this, guys. That's one step into organizing for other things. If we can do that together and help each other get healthy, we can fight this movement. Because it's going to take that same type of organization to take the next steps. Remember that saying, hurt people hurt other people? Well, healed people can heal other people, right? We can say this was the steps that I took to get better. We can get in there and push that to somebody else and be that encouragement. You guys can post your pictures. Say, look, this is what I've got going on. I think that would be a beautiful thing. If we all did that together. You guys down? Look, man, I know we got several more people watching it than Cowboy and Tom and Jeremy. General, come on. Who's willing to do it? I want to hear from you. I'll start it. Seriously. I'm a little bit ahead of you, but I got to get back more on track too. When I was out of town, like, man, that first week, I was on that diet, man. I was doing my protein meals every 2 or 3 hours, working out every single day in Colorado. The elevation, I had never done that in elevation. Everything was 10 times harder, and I didn't even realize it until I got to the next city and went to the gym and took the same stuff I was doing in Colorado. I was like, whoa, that made a difference, right? But that next one, we was gone all the time, and they kept buying pizza and all this other stuff, and I overlooked it for a long time. And then finally, be careful with those cheat meals. You think you want to reward yourself with the stuff that put you in the condition that you were. That's my problem. I'll tell myself, you did good for 2 weeks. You're losing weight. You're doing good. Now you can eat a cheat meal because you deserve it. No, the hell I don't. I've ate enough of those cheat meals. I've cheated myself for too long. I want to keep doing what needs to be done. And I'd love to do it with my brothers, man. I'd love to see you guys do it with us. Yeah, so let's talk about that. I'm in for the challenge. Sweet. Post pictures. You know, that's inspiring, man. That's inspiring. We might not be able to shut down these courts or anything anytime soon, but there is one place that we can make a difference. And if we can help our brothers up here, I know what a lot of you are suffering through up here. I go through it too. You know, depression can be natural. Sometimes depression doesn't have to be linked to anything. It could be getting older, looking at those gray hairs in the mirror and saying, you know what? Do I got 20 years left? Do I got 5? I don't know what I got left. Am I doing it right? Is this where I wanted to be right now? It happens to all of us, man. Life is a weird thing. It is. But I believe that this life is about helping other people. And this is one way to healing. And if we can do this, we can do bigger things. So I'm actually excited about this idea too. Let's go our own way. Let's go do some healing, right? This completely went from MGTOW to gym stuff, but I'm fine with it. Maybe that'll be tomorrow's conversation. We'll see. All right. I'm going to get off of here. You know what, guys? That actually makes me feel a little bit better. I was struggling to get on today. I'm not going to lie. There's not much I can talk about on the family law stuff that I haven't already. At the same time, I know there's people that need it and they need that encouragement. So I was like, what do I go on there and talk about today? I wasn't feeling inspired. This inspires me too. And I appreciate each and every single one of you sincerely for showing up every single day and listening to me talk and supporting what we do here. We need all the support that we can get, especially. Let me go through that again. Let me show you how this works. Archive. You guys see that? Yeah, I'm at the bottom of the screen. Let me take this banner down. You can see it a little bit better. Boom. Okay. Archive. Go down here. So what I'll do is on this wall, like right here, I got this Thursday, first monthly meetup for yearly subscribers. Everybody will be able to go in there to participate. Once that goes, that's for the yearly subscribers. You can sign up for Dad Talk for free. So like, why men going their own way? Go in here. Oh, I see that I've developed this. I ain't trying to broadcast your stuff, but go down here. I'm subscribed already, so I can't, but it'll ask you to subscribe. There is a free subscription. Okay. And then what happens? It's not like Facebook. It's not like YouTube. When I do something, you guys are going to get notified. You're going to see it. It bypasses the algorithms and all that other stuff, but it also doesn't have the walls of all the bull crap. So, the only thing that's going to have the fees is going to be the monthly meetups and the films. but everything else right now is free. So please go and check that out. And when I make that, that'll be one of the free sections for everybody to come in there and say, this is the results. Let's encourage each other. So, yeah, dude, Cowboy, I know you're not trying to broadcast. Yeah, it was just on there. Paul said, did we pay our annual fees? Yeah, dude. Let me go through this a little bit, Paul. Average film, you're looking at $30,000 to $35,000. I don't have that kind of money. I don't. I know they need to be made. I'm looking for ways of getting these cheaper. But in order to be able to make some of these, I got to fly. I got to have a crew. They got to fly. They have to ride in the car. They have to buy the equipment. They have to buy all this stuff. To do that monthly meetup, that's going to take away more time. If you guys went to a coach, you probably pay them $100 an hour, if not more. $10 a month for the yearly subscribers. And if you sign up for a year, you save $20 off of that. You're going to get the shirt. You're going to get access to the films. You're going to get the monthly meetups, everything. And that is a way that if everybody does a little, it helps us do a lot. At the same time, the podcast will always remain free. Nobody has to pay to be on here. But I need you guys' help in order to go to the next step. I got you. He said he was talking about child support. I thought you was talking about on that. You said, did we pay our annual fees? Yeah, man. And so my plan is going to be, when I release the films, they're going to be elsewhere on the internet where you pay to view like $5. Okay. We have to charge for it. I made I Stand with John for free. And I'm going to tell you that put me in a tight, but I was there to do what I needed to do for the community to see that. These I'm going to have to charge one at a time. But for my guys that have been following here with that yearly subscription, I'm going to give you that monthly meetup. I'm going to give you lots of other tools. And then all of the documentaries will be in there for that one price, just like a Netflix or something. Now understand, with a coach, you'd be one-on-one. You'd be one-on-one. Here, we're going to be in a group. So we're not going to be able to sit there and tell each other stories for hours or whatever, because we'll probably have an hour or two at best to sit there and have this meeting. So for those of you that are going to be participating in that online meeting, I'm going to be in there with you. I'll share a little bit of my story. I want to hear your stories. I want you to vent, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Maybe it's advocacy work. Maybe it's a part of your story. Maybe it's something that you're dealing with. That's what it's going to be for. And again, that's going to be a closed thing. I'm looking forward to being there. And if you're going to be there, think about what you want to say before you get in there. So I don't have to say, okay, I got to stop you. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. Cowboy said lack of endorphins means an inability to properly process cortisol. Oh yeah, dude. We're gonna start doing that, working out. I am looking forward to that. And I think a lot of these guys are going to see the benefits of it too. It makes a difference, man. I start my day out every day now by doing this. I wake up early. One, don't sleep in the bed all day. The more I sleep, the more depressed I get. I need a proper amount of sleep, but waking up in the morning, knowing I'm not wasting my day, and then starting off by working out. And I'm going to tell you, this morning it was hard. It was hard. We went from being like summertime in Georgia back to the freaking cold. It's like up and down. This weather out here has mood swings, man. And I was just like, doggone it, I don't want to do this right now. But when I got out of there, it's like, yes. And so no pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. Let me throw this up here really quick. I held that in for as long as I could. I did. My allergies are going. Phew. Bless me. There you go. There is a website. Please go and subscribe to that now. one thing that I think this issue really needs to realize, social media, it really hinders us. People see me and see like the followers and stuff and just think that, and don't get me wrong, we get more messages and stuff than you could ever imagine. But our most important stuff, even like this podcast is the most important thing I'm doing on this page, and it gets less visibility than anything else I do. That's the reason why I started it. 750,000 followers between my social media pages, and we struggle to get 1,000 or 2,000 views. What's going on there? I'm tired of building for platforms and doing all this content to where they benefit off of our hard work. We don't have to do that. I want to make sure that I have the tools that when something happens, when something's very important, there was times I went to DC at Capitol Hill to do really important stuff for you guys, and I needed support. Nobody could see it because I had to got community standards. Like, was blocked. You couldn't say nothing. Some of the most important things when I need the community right now, and again, the Unborn Child Support Act is about to come out. They want you to pay 9 extra months in child support. This could be for a kid that you had 10 or 15 years ago because it's retroactive, right? Or this could be for a kid that you're about to have. They want that extra 9 months in child support leading up to that birth. And then guess what? There's some of them that say they don't have to take a paternity test. They don't even have to prove that you were the father. Our people need to know this. They need to be doing something about it. But because of the algorithms, it is very hard to get out there. And that's why I'm creating a lot of this. That, cleaning up the movement, and getting new content out. Deborah, good morning. I'm late. Good morning to you. Paul, can't have people just going crazy with their thoughts. I understand that one, dude. I definitely do. Matthew Dotson, the cure for depression is activity. Behaviorists such as B.F. Skinner made this connection long before the psych pill pushers did. Recently, the APA made news stating that medication was not as effective as activity in treating depression. Dude, that's why I think, look, am I going to a doctor for depression? Yes, I am. Am I going to the counselor because I got depression? Yes. But there's been numerous times they'll say, like, we want you to take this. Nope. Let me get on a diet and let me do some of my stuff first. There was not long ago, they wanted to put me on cholesterol medicine, a statin. And I was like, nah. And he's like, well, it is elevated. And I was like, okay, I know it is. I eat predominantly 75% meat. I know it is. Give me a second. Went back, dieted, got in the gym. They went back, drew my blood. And he was like, have you been taking the statin? Nope. He's like, oh, man, you needed to. You know, we talked about this last time, looked at my blood, and he was like, oh, your cholesterol's perfect. There are some things that will get better just with diet and exercise, man. And I don't think diet and exercise is pushed enough. If I go in there with depression, was it SSRI? Some of this we can help ourselves, guys, just by getting out and doing stuff that we should have anyway. A lot of us are severely lacking in vitamin D because we're probably inside all day long, right? Just take care of ourselves. I'm actually looking forward to this, man. Joe Rogan's got Sober October. We're going to have, I was trying to find something to rhyme with it. We're just going to have a 90-day challenge and we'll start it with Jimmy. And I hope you guys will take that serious and participate, because if the movement can do that together, we can do great things. You start off by doing something small. And this actually is not small at all. At all. It is not small at all. All right. Yes, Cowboy said, wait a minute. We can come up with a name. Figure it out. I will be back tomorrow. And for those of you that are going your own way, I understand it. Why are men going their own way? Because they feel like they need to. And many of them are right. A lot of them are right. And they're going to keep going their own way because you've made them. That is the reality to this. All right, guys. I'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Follow me on that Substack. I won't be on here today, but I'll be posting content all day long over there. Give me some ideas for some of the stuff you want to see. And it doesn't have to be family law related. I'd love to talk about music. I'll try to talk about sports, even though I don't know a dang thing about it. I was watching Larry Bird and Michael Jordan last night. I'd rather watch that than a game going on now. Because that was when basketball was real, right? I don't know much about it. Anything, though. Maybe we can get some different topics in there. Video games, health and fitness. I'm kind of starving to get out some other stuff. So, yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. And join me over on Substack. See ya. Hey everybody, Eric Carroll here. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Dad Talk Today. While we fight for you, we would ask for you to please help fight for us. Like, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. There's also Super Chats, patreon.com/Dad Talk Today, and other ways you can support our channel. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time.